Now, I think you have an interesting perspective because you know a lot of Bernie supporters have come into the party just recently, but you've been around with the party for a very long time, and as a supporter of Bernie Sanders, you see that there's kind of this big conversation right now about who are we going to vote for? Are we going to switch to the Greens? Are we going to back Hillary? Are we going to write in Bernie? Are we going to not do any of those options? Are we just going to stay home? But I kind of want to know personally for you, can you, in good conscience, support Hillary or the down ticket Democrats as part of a defeat Trump tactic, or as a part of a Dems are better than reps tactic? Republican.
Well, the way I answer that question whenever I'm asked is pretty much the same. How I vote on my ballot in November is my business, just as how you vote on your ballot is your business. I have my priorities. I have my top issues. I have my personal relationships with a lot of these candidates, and I have my constitutional rights to vote. So does everybody else. What I would say is that everyone needs to feel however they are comfortable voting. I'm not going to be somebody who says you have to vote for a particular candidate or you have to vote against a particular candidate. Personally, I hate voting against something. So I try to look at the situation on every ballot and decide what am I voting for and how do I cast my vote to vote for it. Looking at the difference between the top two nominees for the major parties, I can see a big difference, and I can see what I would be voting for in terms of, protection of gay rights, protection of immigration, things like that. So, like I said, how I vote is my business, but look for what you're voting for and vote to protect the things that you really care the most about. If the American Care Act, ACA, is something that you really support, which candidate will support it, which candidate will maintain it, which candidate might improve it, and which candidate will eliminate it. And just go through any of the issues and make your own decision based on the issues. That's how I do it.
I think that's a great point to bring up because a lot of the arguing right now is more about the past of candidates or their character, and it's less about what policies will they actually enact. And I think that's
Right.
very very important to bring up. And I also
It's
appreciate that you're not saying you have to stick with one party or another party. You're saying vote who you feel like, and I hear a lot of sentiment right now about you should vote for this person, and I really appreciate that you're saying that that's your own decision.
It is. It is our own decision. I mean, it's our right to vote how we feel, and based on the situation. All I ask is that we use critical thinking to make the best choice. And I can present my own view, and as we get closer, I'll be more and more comfortable doing that as I get further away from the convention. But everybody has to make their own choice, and nobody should be forcing anybody else to move one way or the other based on issues that might not be their priorities. I mean, I've got a lot of friends in the gay community, and gay rights is a huge one right now, and I really respect their their feeling of, if he who shall not be named gets into office, then their marriages will automatically and magically just go away. Um, I don't think that's going to happen because it's a court decision, not an executive branch decision, but I can understand their feelings on that. And, the climate change issue, which is another one of my top issues. What would a Republican administration do to help curb climate change? Well, I can tell you, they would do absolutely nothing, and we would see things get worse very, very quickly. But regardless of I mean, here's the thing. When I joined the Bernie Sanders campaign last April, when he announced, I looked up a couple websites and I found one that really made sense to me, isidewith.com. And I plugged in all of my issue positions and I said, compare me with the candidates. And Bernie Sanders got like 93, 95%. And Hillary was at 83, 85%. And at that point in time, Ted Cruz was looking like a potential contender, and he was at 9%. So, it doesn't, at that point, I could see, okay, I may not like some of the things that Hillary does, but am I going to choose someone who hits me at 9% or someone who hits me at 80% if I can't push Bernie Sanders over the top? The issues mean that much to me. The future of this country means that much to me.
So we've been kind of talking about who you're going to vote for and your opinion on people voting. So obviously part of the contention about who we should all vote for and what everybody is trying to give advice about is because of the recent email leak scandal and all that going on. Now, as a longtime member of the Democratic Party, do you feel the party can be saved, or do you think that it is just way too far gone?
I think it can be saved. I think personally that the Democratic Party has more potential as an agent of change, and I mean progressive change, than any other party out there. I've been involved since 2003. I know the people in leadership, at least here in Washington and a number of others from around the country. I know the tendency towards corruption and incumbency. And I have to say there needs to be a balance. We need the new energy. We need all of the new ideas. But at the same time, we need the experience that comes with the previous generation. I had a number of friends in Philadelphia who were Hillary delegates. And they looked at what we were doing and how we felt. And they said, you know what? I was you 30 years ago or 40 years ago. And I know what you're feeling, and I know how far we were able to push it. How can I help you push it even further? Because we've gotten as far as we can. How far can you go? I got that question a lot, and I really appreciate it. And those people have been through the major changes in the Democratic Party where we've created a charter and we established rules. They've been working this for the past 40 years, and now they want to help us. So I'm going to be trying to bridge the gap between all this new energy and the old guard that really knows how things were set up, because we're not starting with a blank slate. We never do. Like I said, there has to be a balance. And there's an old saying from an old book, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. So a parallel with that is let the politician who is free of corruption point out other politicians who are not free. We have to fix this from the inside. We have to stay involved. Can we do it? I think we can. And I think we can because I have done it, at least at the local level.
Wow, that was an amazing answer, Chad. I really appreciate that. It was insightful for me as someone who, I've always kind of enjoyed politics from afar, but I never took that step to get involved. And I feel blessed that I do have a mindset that I want to stay involved, but I feel like there is a lot of people that are kind of going to fall out. And so I think it's awesome that you're talking about how it is beneficial to stay in this game and that there is a chance that we can save the mess that's been made or clean it up, and we can be the janitors. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm there for that. So,
and the only way that we're going to be able to clean up this schoolyard is if we stay in the schoolyard to get the work done.
I agree, man. We gotta stay here, and we gotta keep fighting. And
so one of the stencils that we used to create T-shirts on the Thursday of the convention said DNC leaks, and we used it as a hashtag. Another one was Justice for All, and a third one was Our Party. And what we meant by that, by any of them, was on the DNC leaks, the DNC violated their own charter. The charter of the Democratic National Committee says that the DNC is required to be fair to all primary candidates, period. They did not do that. They're dealing with the fallout. A lot of people are losing their positions justifiably, and they're cleaning house. Whether that sticks, we'll have to see, because we also have to realize that Hillary Clinton has 270 electoral votes to get, and she has to do whatever she can within the rules, within the law, whatever, to be able to get that electoral vote. And electoral politics is really rough. We felt that all of last week, because the momentum was already starting to build, saying, get the heck on board. I can understand that. We were not ready for it, and we felt insulted by it, but I can understand why they did it. I just didn't like it.